What's up, everybody? Today I'm going to go over a very important exercise. If you're looking to increase your skills in a short amount of time, I got a great exercise for doing just that. I call it my 5-in-1. 5-in-1 exercise because you get 5 skills by doing one exercise. So you're going to get 5 skills from doing one exercise. I mean, that's pretty fast. You're going to get 5 skills in like a matter of a couple of weeks because this is not a hard exercise. But it's a very cool exercise, and I'm sure you're going to adopt it into doing other things and using it more often than just an exercise once you get pretty good at it. Because it does develop 5 things, and you can use these 5 things to create some awesome music. And so I'm going to get right into it. It's not going to be very long. It's a straight up lesson for you hardcore guys that want to add things to your playing. So I'm going to go over the 5 things we're going to be covering that will increase as you play these exercises. I'll show you a couple of variations of it. And then we can get right into how to make it actually work for you. So the 5 things that you are going to be learning today in this exercise are going to be, number 1, you're going to increase your eye-hand coordination. Number 2, you're going to be increasing your fretboard memorization. Number 3, you will be increasing your placement of fingers on the notes. So as you learn to place your fingers on the highest spot on your finger, you're going to develop the ability to hit that spot better and faster. The 4th thing you're going to learn to do from this exercise is major eye training. You'll be training your eyes. It's separate from the eye-hand coordination. That's something different. You're going to get eye-hand coordination, but separate from that, you're going to get specific work for your eyes, eye training. And the last thing you're going to get, the 5th skill you will be building is right-hand alternate picking. These are 5 serious skills you're going to build, and 5 skills you must have if you want to reach your own personal best. Your best, I'm sure, is very high. But the difficult thing is getting all of that out of you, finding all the different exercises and education knowledge that you need to bring out whatever your best is. The frustrating part is you don't know what your best is until you go out there and learn as much as you can and then adopt and adapt all of what you know to create your personal best. Your personal best is a varied thing, because you can keep increasing your personal best as you get better. Right now, your personal best is whatever it is, wherever you're at. If you're at level 1, you're at your personal best for being at level 1. But as you gain skill and you become better, you'll be at a new personal best. It's just like having your own score that you're breaking your own record. That's what you're doing. Your personal best is whatever you're able to do at that moment, but there comes a time when you master everything, or you've been doing it so long, it's like typing or driving a car, right? You've been doing it so long, you can just do it with ease, and the people who haven't been doing it as long as you don't understand what you're talking about until they get where you're at. So it's the same thing here. You will keep increasing your personal best until there's just one day when there's nothing on the guitar you can't achieve. Then you've reached true greatness of your personal best, which I'm going to also help you get there. So let's begin with these 5, this technique that includes these 5 things. Let's just get right into the first thing. Obviously, you heard me say it, right-hand alternate picking. So pick a string. I'm going to pick the 2nd string is one of my favorites to do this exercise on, and I will show it to you on this string first, and we'll see where we go from there. So obviously, you'll be at different speeds. I'm going to demonstrate very quickly for you guys who don't know how to use a metronome how we could use one. So I'm going to show you right now how you might begin. For you guys that are just starting out, you can you could start with a quarter note and just do something like this and hit every single string with that note and with every one of those clicks. Let's see, I never even did it like this before. That's an 8th note. A quarter note would be this, guys. If you've never done it before, you might want to start there. Then you can move to the 8th note, which is 2 picks per 1 click. So if you're doing one pick per click, you're going to get this. Something like that. If you're doing 8th notes, you're going to get. Now, we're doing 16th notes here. What I'm going to be showing you is a 16th note thing, which would be 4 notes per click. Okay? That's the idea. Now, what you're doing is you're picking a key. You can pick the key of E minor or C major, G major, E minor, A major, C major, A minor. Those are the 2 common ones. They're the easiest to learn because there are not too many accidentals to be following. Now, that's the idea with that. So, you try to use your metronome if you can. Find a way to adapt finding the click. All you got to do is line your beat up with your picking. That's pretty much all it is. And then you can go from there. You can do chord notes, 8th note, triplets, 16s, 30 seconds, whatever you want to do. And you just learn to adapt your metronome. If you don't know how to use one, or you don't understand how to use one in this video, you might benefit from a lesson with me. My lessons are very affordable. They're generally the same price as a music store. So how much can a music store lesson be? I'm in the most expensive area in the country, and music store prices around here are like $35 for half an hour. So I'm actually less expensive than that. So if you can't get the metronome thing down, you may want to get a lesson with me, because I will go over with you in detail. Now, but for those of you who have been watching some other videos and can do the metronome thing, good for you. It's always better to use one. It's not the end of the world if you can't. It just means you are not far along yet to be wanting to use one all the time. And the day will come when maybe you do. So there's nothing wrong with it. You're all where you are. Where you are is where you should be. If you're not in a place where you're using one yet, don't feel bad. You just haven't gotten there yet. It's just like everything else in life. If you're not old enough to drive, don't feel bad. You will one day. Hey, you know what? If you're not old enough to collect retirement checks, don't worry about it. One day you will be. If you're not old enough to drink legal liquor, one day you will be. If you're not old enough to die, one day you will be. So it's all coming to you. Just relax. You know what I mean? So if you're in a place on the guitar where you're not wanting to be, you're not where you want to be yet, don't worry. You will be there. Just like everything else, you get there. So just follow along with my stuff, and I'll help you the best I can. And if you have questions, just ask them, and I'll answer them for you. I'm here to help you out. So let's get started, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is I'm picking the key of E minor, which is A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, A. And I'm going to be on the B string doing that. And I got my C, my D, my E, my F sharp, my G, A, my B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, and A. Now that I know my notes on the string, I'm going to focus on just those notes. So you go as fast as you can to be, as fast as you can go without missing those notes. And what you want to do is you want to pick the finger up, starting with your second finger, because it's in the center of your hand. And if you can get the spot on that finger to land first on the dot, then I promise you every other finger will follow faster than if you pick another finger first. All right, I've been doing this a long time, and I already know that to be true, so that's why I'm just telling you to do this one first. So you can get to, you can get there as quick as possible with the least amount of effort. When you use this finger, it's centered in the hand, so it's going to learn quicker how to do it. If you use one of the other fingers, then you're learning to balance your hand at the same time you're pressing the fingers down, and then you'll never learn to do those two things at once. And you wouldn't make the same progress as the guy who was using this finger. He would be doing it much better than you after the same amount of practice time. So now knowing that, there's no other reason why you'd go to any other finger and start with this one. In fact, you see me using it. When you're going to use one finger like this, folks, because usually we lead with the first finger all the time, right? Well, when you're going to do one finger like this, it's much easier and more efficient, and it's better to lead with the second finger because you're only using one finger. And if you're going to use only one, then the first finger is not the best finger to use. It's lopsided. It's on the other side of the hand falls, and nothing else is ready to go. When you put this finger in, everything is centered, and the position of the hand is just better because the hand is centered. So your technique is just better. And so this is the finger that you will find. If you develop them, this will be the one that works the best for you. And you'll find that it's the most natural to use as well. I'm pretty sure of it. So start with this guy first. And then after you get comfortable, you can learn to do this one. You can pop the other ones in as we need to. But this guy, if you're going to use one finger by itself, this is the guy you want jamming around the guitar. All right, now that we know that we're going to use the key of E minor, we're going to, at your own pace, you're going to just pick the string. Now again, if you're able to use a metronome and lock into a a time, a speed, go ahead, do it. If you're not there yet, it's okay. You're learning. It's not the end of the world. One day you'll be there. But just do what works for you right now and don't be concerned about what other people are doing. I can't stress that enough. You guys are all on your own journey, so just pay attention to your journey and be concerned with you and where you are. Remember, comparing yourselves to others removes your happiness in life. So don't compare yourself to someone else. It removes your own happiness. You won't be happy ever when you're comparing yourself to someone else. So please just work on your own stuff. Focus on you and where you are in your guitar journey. And remember to enjoy the ride of learning. Because there will come a day when you're great and you forgot what it's like to learn and you don't remember anymore about being a student because you've been playing for years and you're just kind of going to forget about these times. Once you get really good, these days fade away. I barely even remember playing guitar as a kid. I don't really remember the actual days of sitting in my bedrooms. I just don't remember. I can't recall a specific day from 35 years ago. I can't do that. And you won't be able to either. So value this time when you're trying to learn to play and you're working on technique and you're building yourself up. Value this time. It's not going to be around forever. It's just a chapter of life. They all close and new ones always begin. So here we go. In a slow manner, I'm going to use the picking. I'm going to look for the notes on the guitar, so I'm learning my notes. I'm going to watch what my fingers are doing, and I'm going to use my eyes to see how fast, because eye training is all about how fast you can get from note to note in the key without making a mistake. If you make a mistake, you got to really understand that that's no good because you're teaching yourself to be incorrect, and your eyes are just going to do that more often. So if you make a mistake, you got to back up, slow down, repeat, fix that mistake by going back over it mistake-free and almost like erasing that mistake. You got to show yourself you can do it correctly after you make the mistake so you can fix it and go on again. If you can't, you're just stuck on the mistake and you're just repeating the mistake. So if you make a mistake, go back, go slower, and fix that mistake and play through it correctly. And then go back to the speed you were trying to play at if you're making mistakes at that speed. But you shouldn't be making too many mistakes at whatever speed you're at. You're up at a new speed, which is challenging, so you might goof it up a little bit. But eventually, if you're on the right speed, you will get that speed. If you're chasing the speed and you're making mistakes and you're not able to get the speed at all and line it up correctly at all, then you are incorrect. You're too fast. You got to slow it up because you got to be at a speed where you're not making mistakes, even when you're training. That's the whole point. So if I put this on and I train myself and I say, hey, I'm going to play against my dots, then I got to be on the dot. You can't be missing. So you got to be on. If you're off, making mistakes, doing something like that, you got to back it up. Now, you can sit in one spot and practice the picking and then slowly work yourself down. Like you can figure out what notes you want to hit while you're picking. Say, all right, this is B. This is on 10th fret B string. We got a B. We got an A. We got a G. F sharp and E. So now you set them. You can walk them. And see there, you can work on your vibrato a little bit. You can even work on creating your own new techniques. You can do all sorts of different things because you're not doing just one thing. You can vary all these different things you're doing. You can vary it. So when you're picking it, you keep the picking going. You can stop on notes and rest. You can keep going. You can hit the notes different amounts of times. You can slide through everything. You can make patterns that do all sorts of different things. There's different things that you can do because you got 5 different things going on at once. The whole entire time you're doing all this, you're training yourself to learn your fretboard better because you're focused on the correct notes. Your eyes are moving around to look at all those correct notes because you should be looking at the note you're on. And then as soon as you're on that note, you're looking at the next note you're going to. So if you were looking at E and B, 5 and 12, when you're on the E, as soon as you get to the E, you're looking at the 12. I'm having problems with that, guys. I need a drink. So I need something. My mouth is dry, that's all. So just bear with me here. Anyway, we're going 12 to 5. So if you're on 12, you're looking at 5. If you're on 5, you're looking at 12. It's the only way you're going to be able to jump that fast without missing. Is you're down here, you're now looking up here. You're up here, you're now looking down here. You need to look ahead of where you're going, just like riding a bike, driving a car. You don't look right in front of the car because you'll bump into the next one, right? So you're looking ahead. Same thing. You can't look right in front of the note, you'll miss. So you'll miss. You'll miss every day. So look ahead. Look to the note you're going to, not the note you're on. And then that takes practice. So go slow. That's all you have to do, because when you're here, you're looking here. When you're here, you're looking there. So your eyes are going, if you leave your head in one spot and just say look at the 7th or 8th fret, you can see 5 and 12 without moving your head. That's what you're looking for. Don't move your head and just look at 9 or 8, and then you can, this way when you're looking at 9 and 8, you can see, position your head to be looking right at 9, 8, and 9, and then you can look back at 5 and 12 when you need to, and you don't have to move your head. So what happens is you're just moving your eyes. See that? I went a little fast and I landed on 11. See? I'm not perfect. I'm showing you exactly what will happen to you if you go a little quicker. Now, I got to warm up just a little bit more, and I probably won't do that. See what I mean? So it's practice. And it's a fun thing. It's not like you're going to write a song and that's going to be in it, but when you do have something where you're going from, and you want to make that happen, or you're tracking and you want to get that first shot, or you're tracking, you get it first shot and everything is dynamite, but you make a mistake at the end. So, things happen. You're working to practice at your speeds. Whenever you go too fast, you make a mistake. That's how you know you're going a little too fast, and you back up to a speed that you're not making any mistakes at. Now, some of the variations you can do on this is you can actually drop in 2 fingers while you're doing this, so it doesn't get, if you get tired doing one. See, I'm using 2 fingers, but what I'm talking about is something like this. Because now you got 2 fingers in there. And then when you put the other finger down, you can slide it to anywhere you want. It's just right here. You're working that right hand so much that you can vary the different techniques that you're playing through. And all I did there was just start out with something like a regular thing where I showed you in the beginning, the 1 finger. Then I just added a couple of fingers to that. I went to a little harmonic minor thing in E minor. If you caught that, the D sharp, raise 7. Now, my favorite thing to do is to double everything. It's 2s is my number. So if I do something, I like 2 at a time. There it is. So now we have alternate picking involved. You're learning your notes. When you got them all down, you can put the notes together, combine and make combos like I'm showing you. Little exercises for your fingers. So you're picking the string constantly. So you got to see how important it is to get this right hand going. It should be one of the first things you guys are working on. You shouldn't be doing a whole lot of anything else while you're working on it. You're making this priority. Like 50% of your practice time should be getting this to like 180. Because I can get it up to 250. So you got to at least get it to 160, 170, 180. because then you can start doing other things with these hands. There's a lot of different things you can do, but placing your fingers in their correct spots. You see that? Landing that finger on the tip of your finger is so important. That's what this is. It's part of what this exercise develops, is your ability to hit perfectly in the same spot. If you don't land in the right spot, you won't get good vibrato, you won't get a bend like that, and you won't get the note to sound right. It'll sound not so good because you're off. So you got to practice slowly. Even if you're quicker and you can play faster, then your right hand can go as fast as you guys want it to go. It's the left hand you're working on everything. So really your right hand, it doesn't matter how fast you pick. You got to get this to land on the right spot. So you might have a rifling right hand because maybe you're working on it. And that's great. Rifle it and then drop this in accurately on those notes. But you don't have to move the left hand that fast. That's what's the beauty of the whole thing. You're trying to train that finger to land in the right spot every single time. So you don't care about anything else. And once you get that, move to the next one. The reason I'm using the same note is so that when you do it, you use the same note. And the reason you use the same note is so that when you switch fingers, you want to listen for the tone because you recognize it now being on the second finger when it's pretty good sounding. Well, if you use the same exact tone, you'll know if this finger's off. If you're getting a... You won't hear it the same because you already know what this pitch sounds like correct. So don't use another pitch because you won't know if it's the same exact sound as this one was just making. You don't want to be able to tell the difference of the fingers, so use the same note. Because then you'll know something. For example, if this finger's not coming up fast enough, you will hear the difference because you're on the same exact note, and all of a sudden something changes and you recognize that change. But that change is harder to hear when you switch the pitch of the note. So for the sake of learning, just use the same note, and switch out the finger and see if the fingers sound identical, so that if you closed your eyes or somebody else wasn't listening to you, they wouldn't be able to tell when you changed out your finger because the tone would be exactly the same. If you're pressing different amounts of if you're pressing harder or softer on a different finger, you're going to hear that. You're going to pick up on that. And that's something you want to work on, being consistently the same. So if you closed your eyes and listened, you would not be able to tell when these fingers switch out, that they're all sounding. If I ask you which finger it was, with your eyes closed, you'd never know if I switched around. Even if I jumped from 4 to 1. If I went... If I ask you which finger if I ask you to tell me which finger I'm using, you won't be able to because they sound the same. You're just going for the consistency of everything being the same so that all the development is equal. That's one of the ways you know. So this is a very good exercise if you really pay attention to what you're doing with it. I like my neck. I like this pickup up top, the neck, because it's a smoother sound. But then if I want a power chord setup or something else, I'll flip it down. So this is an exercise that I would highly recommend everybody do. The thing about it is that makes it great is once you learn. So here's the thing. You got a lot of work if you want to learn all the strings. You should do this on every single string for the key you're in. You should be able to do this on all 6. And then when you can, move to another key and learn it in another key. So if you're learning in C major, all these moves on every string, then when you move to the key of G major, you're only going to move one note. You're going to do everything the same, except you're going to move your Fs to F sharps, right? Because you guys are learning your theory. You're watching the other videos. You're learning some theory, right? Now when you learn the key of G major, E minor, you move into the key of B minor with 2 sharps, and you only have to learn one. You have to switch out one note, right? You're switching out the C note. for the C sharp, because you're now in G. You're in D major. You're in B minor now. Now you switch to F sharp minor, and you add in one more, right? So it's one at a time. If you keep doing the different keys on each string, these are ways to become a guitar master. So you master the guitar. You learn all the notes, all the techniques, and you learn it all from doing everything all at once. And then people will start asking you, hey, you're gaining skills. You're sounding different. What's going on with you? What are you doing? They're like, hey, man, I'm just attacking the guitar. I'm attacking the thing. I am mastering this thing like a beast. And that's what this exercise can do for you. So I hope you take this one seriously. I hope you just learn it really well and find variations that you learn to put into your permanent play, because that's what will make you play great. Guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate you allowing me to share my wisdom and knowledge with you. I hope it's working for you, because it's worked for many others. You just need to be patient. You need to be consistent. Remember, persistency gets you there. Consistency keeps you there. Now remember that. I'll see you in the next video.